Hi, I'm Kelsey, the Youth Services Librarian here at the Detroit Lakes Public Library, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about biographies here at the library. Now, biographies in the Dewey Decimal System are the 921s, so if you're not sure who you want to read about, but you know you kind of want to learn more about a famous person, you can just go to the 921 section and kind of browse and see what people are on the shelves. And the thing I really like about the biographies in the juvenile and easy reader section, which we're talking about today, is that the books are much smaller than what you're going to find in the adult nonfiction section. I like to read all those books, but obviously I don't have the time to read a 600-page book about Rosa Parks, but here's a little one that's only about 32 pages and is going to be a much quicker look at Rosa's life and just a really great way to get a better idea if you want to learn even more about that person. Then you can kind of go and read more in depth later. So I just picked out a couple of titles here. The first one here I have is about Crazy Horse, and Crazy Horse, of course, is famous for being an Ogallala Lakota leader. You can see the monument to Crazy Horse. It's still not finished in South Dakota, but what we know about Crazy Horse is very limited because most of the information we have was gathered from interviews that took place over 50 years after he had died. And this book kind of paints a picture of Crazy Horse you don't always see, learning that he was really a very thoughtful and humble man and very quiet when he was younger as well. And he also had a lot of important visions throughout his life that really influenced him and the things he did. So that's a really fascinating read. Here we also have about Rosa Parks, famous for starting the bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama, a boycott that lasted for 381 days. What a lot of people don't know about Rosa is she was really active with the NAACP before the bus boycott even began. And also there was another young lady who in high school first refused to give up her seat on a bus named Claudette Colvin, and she was kind of the inspiration for Rosa to not give up her seat on the bus later. We also have a really great biography about Claudette Colvin, but that's checked out right now. Over here on the left, we have a book about Cesar Chavez, and this copy is in Spanish, but we also have a copy in English as well. And he's famous from the 1930s for starting the National Farm Workers Association. Cesar Chavez was a Mexican-American migrant farm worker living in California, and the living conditions were absolutely terrible for migrant farm workers in California at that time. And so growing up in that environment, he was really inspired to do something for himself and for his neighbors. And so, like I said, he started organizing the National Farm Workers Association. So this is a really great read as well. Then here on the left, we've got a biography about Woody Guthrie. Woody Guthrie, he was also alive and really active during the same time that Cesar Chavez was. Woody Guthrie traveled around during the Great Depression and really saw the struggles of kind of the common people, and he really thought it was important to give them a voice. So Woody Guthrie was a very famous musician. You know his song, "This Land Is Your Land." He wrote over 1,000 songs, I learned in this book, while he was active and alive. And so you probably know a lot more of his music, you just don't know it. But if you check out this book, you can really learn more about him and his music that he made that's really very important. I'm going to move Cesar Chavez aside for a quick second and bring out another one that's one of my favorites. This one's called What to Do About Alice, and this is about Alice Roosevelt. She was the daughter of President Teddy Roosevelt. And she was just a card, is really the only way to say it. The president was quoted as saying, "I can be president of the United States or I can control Alice. I cannot possibly do both." Alice was way ahead of her time. She was very outspoken. She got caught as a teenager smoking on the roof of the White House and got in trouble. She had a pet snake that she'd set loose when they were famous diplomats over just to cause a, kind of a commotion. She drove a car. She was politically active and really just fascinating, but really caused a lot of problems for her dad for being a sort of a wild child. But so that's a really great read too about Alice Roosevelt. So come on into the library, check out some of these really fabulous books we have. Again, they're in the 921s is where you want to look in the library, and I hope you'll find some fascinating people to learn about. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.